So slowly, time goes by. 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 So slowly.
Hello, everybody. Hope that you are doing well, and welcome to the Champions live stream 243. I've actually got my new setup now sorted, so I've got my new internet and everything. So I'm really hoping that this is like a stream with zero problems and it all goes very smoothly from here on outwards. There is obviously a little bit of echo, which you may or may not be able to tell, but I'm going to be getting this all soundproofed out and stuff. So with time, the audio will get better. But the main thing for me right now is just no problems, and I think that we have solved all that. So yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm feeling really good, positive, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this stream. So. As always, though, of course, I got to remind you of the important legal trade disclaimer to start off, and that is the same as always. No financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. We do never give financial advice or tax advice or any type of advice. This is just an educational stream only. And, I'm just going to be giving you some opinions that I have on the market in an educational way today. So yeah, I hope that you really enjoyed this one. I'm going to say thank you ever so much for bearing with me for those past few weeks. They've been a bit stressful. But yeah, now this is all sorted. It should be, pretty plain sailing from here. All right, so let's begin. Oh, I want to start off with one announcement, and it's a pretty positive one, and that is that we actually have the new February 2024 Bybit with Chart Champions Arena on the competition, monthly competition. And this month, why it's such a good announcement is because we've updated and changed the way the prize pool works. So this is the new prize pool. And you'll actually be able to see now from 1 to 49. So you're guaranteed to win prizes however many people sign up. So between 1 and 49 people, you unlock the $1,000 prize pool. And obviously, if we get the maximum over 500, which is possible because we have this much champions, right? Then you unlock the $15,000 prize pool. So it goes between however many people sign up, right? The bigger the prizes that we're going to be giving away. But there's a guaranteed at least $1,000 giveaway this month, because as long as one person signs up, that person will win $400. The top 5 get prizes. Of course, this is a totally free competition to enter. You just enter via the competition page on the website, and that will join you into the competition, which, I think it's pretty good, because now it used to be 100 plus unlocks the prize pool. We've changed it, and we're going to be giving away prizes every single month now, because we're always going to get more than one person to sign up. So this is something that, of course, you have to be trading on Bybit. You have to have a Bybit account, but nevertheless, if you are, there's no reason you wouldn't, I would say, sign up to the competition, because top 5 you're going to win prize money. So yeah, it's pretty nice, and that's what I wanted to start off with on the stream. And now we're going to go over into the charts and start looking at Bitcoin. So, this is nice for me because I'm finally working on a big monitor. I've been working from a laptop for like almost the past year, and it's been horrible. So I'm finally on a desktop again. It's such a big difference. I can actually see the screen and what I'm doing now. Of course, since last week, we haven't changed that much really, but we have hit a major pivot, right? So this was obviously what I had marked out as a monthly naked point of control. In the end, it kind of wasn't really a monthly naked point of control, but it was nevertheless the previous month point of control. So that's just one slight difference. Instead of NPOC, okay, it was just a POC of the month. So it was the monthly point of control. So nevertheless, still a big level. And of course, what we were looking at was this fixed range pool of this range that we were in, just lined up really, really nicely, with that all lining up together in terms of resistance off of this range point of control. And as I've mentioned in a few previous streams during the daily updates, the theory that we had here, okay, I'm just going to repeat it because repetition is helpful for your learning. We got acceptance into the value area low. The target is value area high, but there's a very strong possibility of rejecting that big previous range point of control. Of course, we hit that previous range point of control, wick, 20% drop to the downside, massive, okay? And then on the lower term time frame, the exact same theory, right? This was our previous range. We lost it. Once we got back into that previous range on a lower term time frame, we even got a retest back test. Okay, the target upon reclaiming value area low is the value area high, but there's a very strong possibility of rejecting the point of control. Okay, so just as on the daily time frame, we hit this big previous range point of control when this loads in. Not sure why not, but hey. We hit that big previous range point of control, and we obviously got that pullback. On the lower term time frame, we hit that previous range point of control, and we got a pullback. Of course, this was a 20% pullback. This was in total a 3.4% pullback, but nevertheless, still a very respected technical analysis, right? So this I do feel is extremely it's like I was saying in the daily updates, that everything goes through stages. You go through really good, easy time trading Elliott waves, really good, easy time trading Fibonacci, really good, easy time trading off of your speed fans, really good, easy time trading off of, VWAPs. Everything goes through cycles. Now you'll see if you try and trade off of, just lower term time frame VWAP, you're going to get chopped up. Whereas if you're trading off of these range pools, well, this is the flavor of the month or the flavor of the quarter. So for the past few months, this has been working really well, and maybe we've got another month and a bit of still this working excellently, because at the moment, this is the theory, this is the tool of our technical analysis, which is simply dictating the market. The market is respecting this technical analysis, and undeniably, this is the technical analysis which is moving the market. It's creating every single pivot high. So this is extremely the tool you want to be using right now. It's just the best. It's as simple as that. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, I am going to hide this, okay, and obviously this is our higher term time frames. I'm going to remove some of my older technical analysis because I feel like I want to kind of start afresh a little bit. So let's go through this. I'm just going to, I'll remove everything for now. And I won't delete all my naked pointer controls, right? But let's just go through this from the beginning. So let me just check something. Okay, cool. So so from the monthly, got our monthly, weekly. What was this high? 890. Well, very close, but we slightly missed this weekly, right? And this is the same down here. We had a weekly, we slightly missed it here. So we slightly missed the weekly either side, which is fine. They're still a weekly level, right? Let me just go back and check here. Okay, now let's check the daily. Okay, fairly simple. That's the higher term time frame levels done. Now I want to do the naked pointer controls. So let's do this then. So let's do this. Okay, this is the easiest way to do it. So I'm just going to review all of these. So 38887, 38887, 40,000. I don't think I marked out right. Yeah, no, because it's too close to here. 42062. 42062. It's not a point of control over trade, so I'm just going to not even add that one. Okay, that's all we got around here. Then we got this one, 36462. 36462. That's all I'm going to mark out for now. Now we'll go look at that one. That's what you call accuracy there. You can finally see me drinking from my big pint of water again. All right, so what have we got going on here then? So 42062, so the same level. I still wouldn't trade it, but you do have two there. I also wouldn't trade this. 40,087, 38887, 36462. Cool. $36.87. Okay, that's all good for me. That's the dailies double checked. Finally I can actually read comments while I'm streaming, because honestly on the laptop it was impossible. I'd have to load it up on my screen, but now, wow, this brings back old time memories. It's been like almost a year from when I've been having a proper setup. It's been horrible. Right, so This is our weekly time frame. And we got this one 45975, which is basically our 46K. 39975. Okay, and that was because of the 40K, I didn't mark it out. 37695, got that one marked out. 34425. Okay, got that one marked out. I'm just double checking things. 56925. Okay. 60495. Yes. Okay, now let's check the weekly. On this, $46,000. $40,000, 37695, 34425. Okay, cool. I'm guessing, yes. So if I remember, need to go into settings. Right. There he is. How do you change this again? Oh, chat, if anyone can remember how to set more data, I would be appreciated. I've done this so many times, but I forget. I know it's in here somewhere. Here we go. So I think if I set this to like 500. I need trading assistant. I forget because these type of things I change once every. I would never really change that setting apart from when I was building the template, which was a long time ago. But because when I rebuilt my setup, I rebuilt a computer, so this is like a brand new computer build, and so I just downloaded my template off of the Vault on the website, and I remember there's a few things I changed. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. This is perfect. So now I can check above us. 56925. And then 6495. Okay, that's perfect. And now let's look at the monthly, really simple here. 36975. And now here, now you can see we have January, February showing. So this is no longer glitched. But what I do need to do here is go right click, TPO settings, point of control, and show the volume. Oh, just look at that perfect monthly naked point of control rejection. Wow. Okay, so below us, 36975, yes. And that's all we got there. Okay, this is really good. I'm going to hard close this. I'm going to double check here. Okay, it's not too helpful for me. This is not showing me anything. There's a mini CCV setup, but yeah. And we're trading at the previous month's VWAP. So we're just in a cluster of massive, massive confluence levels right now. Okay, cool. Right, that's it for X. I don't need that anymore. And that is everything sorted here. So I'm going to save this. Cool. Let me just check. This is our previous range. I'm going to move this to the bottom. This is our upper range volume, which is obviously still helpful. This shows us this. And our bearish and bullish Elliott wave counts. Cool. So what I want to do here, this is the type of stuff that was just so difficult on a laptop. But now with a big screen, you can properly start to do technical analysis like 10 times easier. So what I'm going to do is do this with the speed fans, and I'm going to see where we're lining up on this now. Okay, just remind myself. So we got 3 ditch pivots, flipping 7-5. My big target still really sits on this monthly naked point of control. But that's a long time away to line up with a speed fan. Okay. Anchored VWAP support is still really far away. Back at 30k, but that's obviously catching up. So the other important anchored VWAP pull is here. Obviously, I had the fake out, which. So this is what when you'd be looking at that like previous range. I'm just going to pull the whole range, but of course you look support of anchored VWAP, loss, retest of anchored VWAP, reclaim. Upon reclaiming the value area low, you're also reclaiming the value, the VWAP, and it all comes together. Okay, I just need to do that. So into the. I'm going to check from this current high. Yeah, we are literally, this area that we're in has just got like so much confluence. I honestly feel like where we're rejecting from here as well is just ultra confluence. Right, okay. So I'm going to start to give like my perspective on the chart. So honestly, my thought here is definitely still leaning. Right, okay, let me explain first of all. Of course, we're still in a bullish uptrend right now. The uptrend is still bullish, so you could say it's hard to be too bearish yet because of all the bullish signs that we do have on the chart, and I cannot deny those bullish signs. Okay, but I personally am actually leaning more bearish here. Okay, so let me explain if you don't already know why I'm leaning more bearish. So I honestly feel that where we rejected from here is an extremely major pivot. We had the previous range point of control. Okay, so you see that previous range point of control up and around $48,000. On top of that, like when you start to look at this all lining up together, and you see that you also had that monthly naked point of control, the last one of this downtrend, right? Just look at the perfect tap. That is, that's just what you call confluence coming in there. And then not only that, but then these were the last set of highs. Okay, they were the last set of highs prior to the really big drop to the downside, right? Last high before really big drop. And you also took out those. So I just feel, of course, we can't forget that we also rejected from the low of the CC. So for me, this is such a major technical confluence, just crazy, crazy big confluence. So for me, seeing that we've rejected from this, undeniable, 20% pullback, I have to think that there is a very high potential that the high is in right now, okay? And not only that, but on the lower term time frame here, we have then broke market structure by taking out this low, or we've started to, right? We've put in a new low. So now all we need is the lower high, lower low to confirm a very big market structure change. So there are a lot of bearish signs. And then locally, what did we do? We rejected from the, previous range. Now we're obviously building up the point of control where we are here. But when we look at the previous range, just remove that. Okay, we were also rejected from that previous range point of control, taking out this high here. Okay, so we took out this high here, previous high prior to the drop. We also took that out. So for me right now, I absolutely do have the bearish bias, okay? Or not necessarily a bearish bias, but way definitely like protective mode. I'm not, I recognize that this is a time to be protective, okay, and to play cautiously. So for me, I am cautious, and I am saying that there's a strong possibility of us going lower on the chart here. What would change my mind? Really simply, it would be reclaim this value area high. So it's not a lot to change it. Okay, we're talking about in percentage points, about 3% rise from here. And if we can reclaim that value area high, remember we have that level at $46,000 to be aware of. But if we do not reject at $46,000, and if we reclaim this range value area high, then quite simply, I would no longer be cautious for another rise, because I would be looking there from the reclaim of that value area high to the top of this CC, which is around 15% rise to the upside, where there we have confluence, of course, with our weekly level. Very nice confluence, top of the CC weekly. So, my plan has been the same for the past few weeks now. Definitely more bearish while we remain below this previous range point of control value area high. This is such a close zone. We're just looking at it as one. If we reclaim the value area high, I would lose that level of cautiousness for at least to fill those inefficiencies here to hit at least $46,000. But I personally do not think $46,000 is a major resistance. So yes, could we reject? Of course we could. But really, if we reclaim this value area high, I would be more expecting new highs onto the weekly. Of course, be aware of a swing failure pattern here. It's not a trade we can forget. But I would love to see the weekly top of the CC tapped. So for me, we're at a major level of resistance right here. Value area high point of control. And while we're trading here, which is below that major level of resistance, of course, I'm going to be bearish and protective of my capital. But if we reclaim this, then that major resistance flips into major support to support what I would think is a fairly simple rise to the upside. Because this move down was so quick, we can reverse all that quite easily. This is not a major level of resistance around $46,000. Okay, but of course we do have some levels here. So it's not, reclaim the value area high, we're definitely making new highs. No, we got to be aware of this 46K resistance zone, but I do not think it is a major level of resistance. Okay, I have my shorts from $48,000. I am not going to close this unless my stop loss gets hit. It's as simple as that. So even if we start trading 47K, I'm not going to close the short. I would happily take a stop loss just because, I recognize the major pivot that this was. So I don't want to close that short. It's as simple as that. So for me, I am now remaining patient. Preferably lower. Okay, that would be my preferred scenario, that we go lower, to be honest with you, and making new lows down below $37,000. That's my preferred scenario. And honestly, I feel there's a high probability. But I also recognize as a trader, these probabilities are going to change if we reclaim the value area high. Then I would no longer be expecting 37 minus dollars, 37,000 minus below. But I would say, okay, this is at moment weakness for me because we've rejected off of a major pivot. But if we go on to reclaim these major pivots and flip them into support, this is then a sign of strength. Could we reject from our levels above us around 46k? The answer is yes. But I do not class them as major pivots or major levels. They are levels, but I wouldn't class them as strong. So I, at this point, would say I no longer believe the highest probability is below $37,000, but actually I'm looking for above $50,000 onto the top of the CC and the weekly. Okay? So that's the way that I am looking at this chart locally, why I've got the bias I have, why I'm a little bit protective, and you know, what would make me change from being protective. Okay, it's really simply just reclaim that major level that I have of resistance here locally. Reclaim that. Yes, I will look above for $50,000+. Okay. One thing to bear in mind, we're looking at 50,700, but we have that very important level just above it of the previous range value area high. So be aware of 50,700. Okay, there's three levels above 50k. 50,700, 52,150 to take out this high, and then of course the value area high. So these are all levels which we can reject from, right, for a bigger move to the downside. If we reclaim though this value area high, again, are there levels between 54 and $69,000? Yes, there is, right? There are levels to be aware of here. Could we reject $61,000 and get a pullback? Well, of course we could do that. But very much similar to how I'm saying locally, reclaim the value area high. Could you reject 46k? Yes, we could, but I would expect above $50,000. Same theory here. If we reclaim $54,000, could we reject $61,000? Well, the answer is yes, right? But my expectation would be more reclaim the value area high. We're going to new all-time highs. Okay? So I'm very much always thinking in these probabilities. What's the highest probability? What's the most likely to happen? You know, based off of the data that I have right now. And I can only trade based off of the data that I'm looking at right now, correct? And so with that, the data I have is big rejection from major level, locally, big rejection from major level, okay? If we reclaim and flip that major level into resistance, from resistance into support, well, it's no longer a rejection at a major level, but a resistance support flip, and then I look for new highs. The same here. If we had, instead of wicking into these and rejecting, gone above and simply flipped into support, well, then I would say, okay, that's no longer a major level. I'll look for my next highs above us. Okay, so I'm a level-to-level trader, thinking in probabilities always, and able to adapt to not be stuck in an ultimate bearish or ultimate bullish bias, but review both scenarios, review both biases to make one informed decision to enter my trades based off of that data. Okay, so, you know, I'm happy if the market wants to go above $50,000. You know, I'm happy and I know I can make money off of a rise to 50k. I can. And I also know I can make profits if we reject and fall down, well, even below 30k. You know, I can put myself in a position by opening myself up to trade both sides of the markets, thinking in a realm of probabilities always, and understanding probabilities change based off of new data. So today I could be bearish, expecting lower. Tomorrow we could reclaim that local value area high, and then I turn bullish, looking for above $50,000. So that's why it's very important to, of course, listen to these champions live streams, educate yourself from them, look at how I'm doing it, but don't be the type of trader that watches this video on Sunday, here's I am bearish looking for lower, and then throughout the whole week you watch no other updates, no other videos, and next week we're trading at $54,000, and you would think, Daniel, you were totally incorrect. Your bearish bias, got me wrecked. I'm very annoyed and disappointed. And I would say, well, what was going on? You totally ignored 90% of the video and focused on, the 10% where I said I was bearish, but ignored all the reasons why I would flip bullish. Okay, and that's not a made-up example. People do that, right? They listen to what they want to hear. Okay, so if you're a bear, you're going to listen to that small bit where I said bearish, and you're ignoring the bit where I say, if we flip this, I'm turning bullish. And because you're fixated on your own personal bias, you can use my words, ignore the stuff you don't want to hear, listen to the small bit you do want to hear, and get yourself wrecked. Whereas I am putting myself in a position where I can be bearish looking for lower. If we flip that, and let's say we go to $54,000, I can make profit on all of that rise. Whereas someone stuck in their way shorting from their personal bearish bias is going to get wrecked. So it's very important to understand biases change every day, every hour potentially, with new data that we have. Okay, so that is Bitcoin for you. I've talked a lot about the levels above us. I'm going to briefly talk about the levels below us, where I still feel we have major support. I'm not going to spend too long on it because I think I've talked about it a lot. But for me, it is this monthly naked point of control. That's where we got confluence in terms of Fibonacci. Okay, this is where we got some lower term time frame, anchored VWAP balls. This is where we got this monthly naked point of control, and Fibonacci from a higher term time frame onto a lower term time frame, right? SCC, of course, we bounced off the top of it, but we got the low, and I just feel that this area, I don't know, would give us a bit more of a fake out of that. I just feel that this is the level that if we're going to hold, okay, onto a higher low, not losing 30K, this would be the level that I would like to see held. We all know the 1-to-1 is coming down lower, but what I will do here, let me just hide this name. What we will do here is pull a fib extension from high, low, to the current high. You can see that comes in at 33K. But let's say we rally to 46K. Then this 1-to-1 is going to come in a lot closer to that monthly naked point of control, right? So the more we rally up, the more that 1-to-1 comes into play. And 1-to-1 for me is an important level. Okay, so what we would also do to look at confluence, I would pull a Fibonacci from the high down to the low, and we would put this onto our negative, and then this gives us a negative Fibonacci pull for, let's say we make it to the CC. This then gives us a negative Fibonacci, which can also be used as confluence. So we can see here, $36,000 will be our first negative fib pull. Okay. Another way that we could be looking is from low to the high of that rally, and then put that onto the expansion. And you can see here, our first expansion fib pull of the current high would be lining up very nicely with that monthly naked point of control, actually to the dollar, pretty much, right? So these are the ways that we're looking at confluence. And for me, the major one, right? Major Fibonacci pull that we got here is from our current low down here to the high, and then add on the 382. And look at this, 36,200. This is a really nice Fibonacci level that I would like to see hit. Doesn't have to be, right? But that is my major level that I would like to see hit. From that $36,000, $37,000, if we are to maintain an uptrend, I don't really want to see us lose the 382 of the uptrend. Because if we lose the 382 of the uptrend, I feel there's a very high probability that we're going to get a bigger drop. Okay, so it's still healthy per se to retest this 382 and look for continuation to the upside. So for me, this is a major level of support. I would love to see it tested, to be honest. I would love to see it tested to see the strength that is left in the market on a bigger drop. Does the market puke and just totally give up? Or do we actually come down here and demand picks up heavily and we can rise up to new highs? For me, this is a massively important support. And because it's so big, I would love to see it tested. Kind of as simple as that. Okay. Going to keep on both those fib pulls. Remove that. So yeah, that would be my major level below us. Okay. Of course, the be all end all would be these series of lows down here of around $33,000. If you lose 33,000, then yeah, you're probably going to feel all this kind of inefficiency. So 33k would be the ultimate level of support. I like that must hold, but yeah, really to be more bullish, looking for a rise, you don't want to come down all this way. You'd really like to see a higher low held here. So yeah, that really is my opinion on Bitcoin. What I'm looking at. On Bitcoin, that is my thoughts. I hope that all makes sense of exactly what I'm looking at and my biases, reasons why, and everything, to do with BTC. So how long have we been doing this? So we're going on about 40 minutes. I will cover the few other markets here. Let me just see if we got any questions. 1 second. Just didn't need to log into this, so nothing in yet. Cool. Okay, well, let's continue. So the stock market, well, look at this. Surprise, surprise. And this is exactly what I said would happen last week. Anyone bearish on this market is just kind of crazy. Like, how can you be bearish on this stock market? But yeah, of course, I want to see 5,000 points taken out, to be honest with you. Here we've stopped at 4,997. So, this is the thing. When you're in all-time highs, you don't have much levels of resistance, right? There is technically no strong level of resistance. You're just going off like Fibonacci pulls, extensions, and big psychological numbers. I remember, wow, this was... this will test to see who was a member for a long time. But I remember trading Square. Who remembers this? SQ. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I was trading Square. And I remember just having a target. At the time, it was flying in all-time highs. And this was on major profits I was making on this one. I was like, yeah, the obvious take profit of this is $100. This was when Square was trading at 100, below 100. And I was like, yeah, $100. Like, we got no real resistance. It's a big psychological level. Yeah, it just makes sense to hit $100 and take profit there. And we hit $100, and that was the high. And we retraced all the way to $50. So that was like a 50% retracement on Square. And it just reminds me, I don't know, it's just a trade that I always remember. And kind of just reminds me similar here, right? There's not really major resistances on the stock market. Do I think it will do a square and hit 5,000 and reject all the way down to 2,500? Nah, not really, right? That's more individual stock trading. The index is more strong. But nevertheless, like, it's a sensible level, and I don't think it will just be a wick back down, but we could form some sort of failed auction above here and back down, and then at least we can look for a retrace. But in terms of levels, yeah, 5,000 psychological is a level that I would not forget. I'll give you some more in here. So again, like, these Fibonacci pulls are very helpful when it comes to this. So make sure it's set to expansion, and you can see 5,100 would be your expansion pull here. I would also pull this for a negative pull from this low to this high, because that's where you got your first major pullback. And I would put this on negative. And yeah, so this is what you don't really want to see. Like, none of these levels have confluence. So they are levels, but I wouldn't be trading any of this where there's like zero confluence. I would do a Fibonacci expansion pull here. Still no real confluence. I would do a Fibonacci time pull, because this is where you can get confluence with time. So let's say the 1-to-1, because none of these levels are really offering us confluence, right? These horizontal levels. But let's say we come up and we hit the horizontal 5,163, and there's no confluence horizontally, but then we hit the 1-to-1 time pivot. That gives us confluence. So if we hit that together, that's where we would have confluence, time and price lining up together. these prices alone are arbitrary numbers. Ultimately, they're kind of just, yeah, they're Fibonacci numbers, but a Fibonacci number doesn't give us a trade on its own. This is too low confluence. Of course, when you're trading all-time highs, you cannot expect high confluence, but you can work with the best of your abilities and the tools that you have. So a horizontal fib with a vertical time pivot is going to be basically the best confluence that you're going to be able to get. So that's the type of theories that I'll be working off of all-time highs. And fun fact, that is how we predicted the $69,000 all-time high on Bitcoin. You all know I shorted proudly, right, $69,000, and that was from Elliott Waves, and that was using Fibonacci time with our Fibonacci tools with Elliott Waves, and that's how we predicted a $69,000 all-time high on Bitcoin. Big emphasis on the Fibonacci time pivot, which was called like a year in advance. A year in advance, we were waiting for this pivot on November 2021. And so that's kind of the way you'd be looking at the stock market. Again, Bitcoin is way easier to short than the stock market, just kind of how it is. But yeah, wouldn't be shorting while we slightly front run 5,000 points, to be honest with you. So for me, that's, yeah, what I'm looking at here. I'm looking for higher. So again, this is low inverse correlation. So I don't want to spend long at all on this. For me, I have no trade setup on the DXY. I do not trade this market. I kind of look at it because it is helpful when there's an inverse correlation. But right now we see the stock market rising. We see the DXY rising. There's no inverse correlation. This gives me low probabilities on this market. And yeah, when I have no high probability, when I have no correlations, I just will not trade it. I wouldn't trade this even if there was a correlation because I hate to trade Forex, but hey, even less of a reason to trade it when the biggest and easiest way to trade it is an inverse correlation, and that's not there right now. So yeah, I'm not going to spend any more time on the DXY. ETH, okay, has not really changed since last week. We're pretty much exactly where we were last week. And well, yeah, look at this. We've pretty much gone sideways for the past week. So ultimately, I would still say this is more bearish. Okay, we all know why we rallied on Ethereum. We got a swing failure pattern of the low almost 1 year prior. Okay, so June 2022, here we swing failure. Oh no, over 1 year. What am I on at? This is over 1 year later, right? Nearly 2 years later, 1.5 years. So yeah, we swing failure pattern that low from 1.5 years ago. Swing failure pattern, of course, you get a rally from that. But we're already giving back 50% of the move. So I would say Ethereum still leaning on the bearish side. I mean, let's be honest. This is not giving a trade setup. This is just sideways. But again, very much like the DXY. If I do not have a high probability trade setup, why would I trade it? I would say there's probably a 60% probability of dropping because this is in the middle of a big inefficiency that is more likely to be filled than not. So I would say it's a 60-40, but that doesn't mean I would short here. Not high enough probability, 60-40 for me. I want to wait to where I got much higher probability, 70% plus. So for me, I do feel it's likely Ethereum to drop from here, but I do not have a trade set up. And, you know, there's still that 40% probability, which is pretty high, that this just pumps out of nowhere. And surprise, that would be a surprise, but I absolutely recognize it's pretty probable. So yeah, would remain bearish on Ethereum, simply because of the way this market structure formed, and we are in the middle of the infinite inefficiency. Giving back 50% of the move is not bullish. So can Ethereum tomorrow pump 20%? Yes, it would be a surprise, and I simply wouldn't trade it. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. I would simply miss Ethereum. But this does put me in a bit of cautious mode on alts, because if Ethereum drops, which is the higher probability, it does generally mean the rest of the altcoin market drops as well. If Ethereum surprises me and pumps here, then that is good news for the rest of the altcoin market, because the strong Ethereum generally means strong alts. So right now, I would say it remain patient on Ethereum. Let's wait and see where this wants to go, because at the moment, it's not really decided. You know, let's wait for a decision. I would say it's more probable to reverse all this inefficiency, but let's be honest, if we start to get above here, then there's an inefficiency here to fit as well. So this is too much, almost 50-50. There's no trade there on Ethereum. I'm not going to trade it. I will trade a Bitcoin because I have good, strong probabilities and levels. I wouldn't trade the DXY because I don't have a good probability. The stock market, yeah, this is tradable if you're long in terms of just long and chill, but not shorting while we're below 5,000, not even protecting while we're below 5,000. Just I wouldn't personally do that. So yeah, that is my opinion on Bitcoin. Well, S&P 500, ES minis, DXY, and Ethereum, which in turn gives me some on the alts. I hope that you have enjoyed this. Let me see if we got any questions pop in. No, so no questions pop in. So I will just say this. I think next week I will... let me just see how Bitcoin goes. If we get a major pivot on Bitcoin, if not, then I might start to get back into the alts, because this is something that I want to get back into. Honestly, the last year of my life has been hard. I've not had the time I want, but I've sorted out everything that I needed to sort out. So now I'm like blessed with time and some peace in my life, so I can get back into the things I love, which is trading. So. Yeah, with this new setup, I can start to do more streams. I want to do more content. Yeah, I just feel my life is a really, really good place right now. So for me, I am not going to guarantee that I'll do altcoins next week because it's dependent on Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin is, same range, nothing really changed, I would like to spend the majority of my time looking at altcoins. That will be nice. Finally on a big monitor. So I would say that, yeah. You'll see me next week, of course. You'll see me during the week every single day because I'm going to be on Discord. I'm going to be doing the daily, on my days of the live streams. So you'll start to see more content from me here on outwards and be simply more active. I'm going to be having nothing else to do other than being at my computer anymore, which is wonderful. It's perfect, honestly. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it there. I'm going to remind you, if you want to join the trading competition, we've sorted this now, so you get guaranteed prize money. So I think this is a good new benefit, to be honest with you. I think this is really cool because we're going to be giving away money every month guaranteed. So you can't complain about that. So yeah, if you haven't already, sign up to the Bybit competition via the website, and it's free to join, and you get access to free prizes, which is monetary. Well, you get paid in Tether, right? You can do whatever you want with that. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed. I'm ending with this finally with a big smile on my face and very positive, and it's good to have my setup back. I'm just going to say that, and it's good to be able to see you all finally in some 4K vision. So I'm just going to say thank you ever so much. It's going to be a good year. I'm really positive and looking forward to it, and I hope that comes across with good trades, profitable trades, and a lot of people learning and making profits alongside us, right? So yeah, thank you ever so much, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed, and that is me signing out. Cheers, thank you, and goodbye, champions. I'll see you over in the Discord today and the rest of the next week and the rest of the year. Cheers, thank you, and goodbye.